Broadcasting live from the backstretch at Saratoga, this is the Handicappers Report. Brought to you by CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier online wagering site in New York State. CapitalOTBBet.com. Sign up today. And the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Make it to the Clubhouse Racebook.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Travers Day to you along the backstretch of Saratoga Race Course alongside Seth Merrow. I'm Anthony Mormino, and I kid you not, they saved the best for the biggest day. I mean, it is beautiful. And it's actually, I know we're coming to an hour earlier, but I've been here a while. It's been very quiet today, Seth, on Travers Day.
I once again waited for about 20 horses over by the harness track. So they're loaded back here on
Never
clear
said
court.
life is timing. You don't have it.
Shoosh, it's 2 days in a row, and you'd think it'd be winding down, but it was the two busiest days I've driven in. But as I say, there was the Linda Rice contingent went by, and a couple I didn't recognize, but there was a lot of horses popping over, either to clear court or coming through clear court to go to the main track. I mean, there are some workers over there, definitely.
There are, but. Gates are still not open. My colleagues tell me it's 9 o'clock that gates open.
Yeah, so keep that in mind. If you're headed up, gates open.
You're late. I presume there's a line out there.
There was a tweet that somebody there was a line forming already at like 9 o'clock last night, and and they interviewed three guys who were in line, and they were a little concerned that they were number 2 in line. At that point. So, yeah, there's a
Somebody
line.
probably walked out from Friday's card, did a pivot, and like, I'm good. I'm good. Kind of like, did they have anything like that at Duke? They had, what, Krzyzewskiville. Did they have anything like that at Syracuse?
They did.
Students
they
camping
did.
out?
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
I'm trying to think of how that worked. I can't remember, but
okay.
Yes, they did have it.
All right. I mean, that's wonderful. I mean, obviously I'm in my 60s now, but I don't know in my 20s, maybe my teens, I could have done like 11 hours at the track. But I don't know that once I got to a full-fledged adulthood, I'd be like, can you drop me off around 2 o'clock by today's schedule? Because I don't know what year it was. I want to say like 96, 7 or something. Where we ran more than 9 races on the track. I think 91 we had a simulcast because people don't remember. It was Corporate Report gave the coach his first Travers, and he wasn't here. He didn't really think much of Corporate Report's chances in $1 million race, and I think he was at Del Mar and Corporate Report. But I think we had a simulcast that day. But I can't remember the first time we had 10 live races. And don't worry, we have 14 coming for you.
Yeah, that's the old simul where you'd have like a couple of races from out of town stuck in. And yeah, it's hard to remember those days where I think we've talked about it before. You went to OTB and out-of-state races would have separate pools, and you could kind of look and see what the odds were on track. Yeah.
And they had a finite number of out-of-state events they could take. I'll give you one. This will make the young kids really roll their eyes. The first and third, maybe, because the second one was held in New York, I think you can only bet on 2 races of the Breeders' Cup in New York. Can you? Some people go, what? I'm betting on Singapore at 3 a.m, and you're the biggest day of the year. You had you could bet on the turf and the classic. So we've come a long way, baby, as Virginia Slims used to say. But it's a beautiful morning, and obviously, if you tune in at 9, you're going to see Seth's racing across America, but you're going to miss us. But it's a beautiful day. I mean, it's weather is so very important, and really since the August place to be, it's been hard to beat.
Yeah,
let's say so.
Another nice day, gorgeous day yesterday, and this is promising to be much of the same. Last night, Banishing gets the win. Skippy Longstocking off the board. got pushed all the way around, banishing wins. But what was interesting to me, David Jacobson said after the race, I might head up to Saratoga for the Jockey Club. So I thought,
well, when you got David took a little time out, came back, and now you got $1 million race in your hip pocket. What's the old that? I mean, when they're good and they're healthy, run them. I mean, it's that's the one idea that they're like strawberries. They're so perishable. It's like 6-8 months down the line, you might not have a horse.
Oh, and Vava ran second. It was one of those. Well, maybe it bodes for up here. Funny things happen in short fields. The horse got out to a lead in a 4-horse field, and Vava made a run. It was just too late.
Yeah.
The horse was, off to the races prior to that. So,
and I saw a couple of photos on Twitter, and I tell people, I mean, I wouldn't do it because their timing is in August, but it's a beautiful track. I mean, and I think somebody posted the idea how much fun it is for families and etc. But of course, a couple posted it. I'm starting to think that they are the leader in the clubhouse with post-time drag. I think they supersede Gulfstream. There's sometimes it was posted that they were still in the paddock when it said 0. Now to understand, it's like you could probably get from the paddock to the starting gate depending on the race in 2 minutes, but to be in the paddock at 0, and I don't know. I'm a customer service guy. Obviously it works because they just exacerbate it and they're all doing it, but I don't know. I think it set a good precedent by running at 0, but apparently that's not true.
I agree.
There's only like 1% of us are worried about post-time drag.
And they, I don't know. I think a lot of customers would prefer it if they did it. It's just one of those things that
it must not be because the customers.
Well, no, I think but nobody's paying attention to the customer because they drag it out and you get more money. So
yes,
I get it.
That's what they. And I always think like sometimes maybe 80% of folks out there on a given day don't post time is like.
Well, they're here certainly.
Yeah, it's like.
Yeah, I mean. Here you get folks who are new to the game or whatever, and so they're just enjoying the day, understandably. But I think most of us regulars kind of.
Oh, regulars! It drives us batty.
Yeah.
But apparently, we're you can't get your 50-cent pick threes either. There's lots of things we just can't have.
Definitely going in the other direction. Speaking of pick threes, and I will hit the promos. But Pick 3 Bankroll still open for a little while. We'll close it a little bit later this morning. So if you want to put your name in for the Pick 3 Bankroll tomorrow, you still have a little bit of time. Go to capitalotb.com, click on the promotions link, then look for the Pick 3 Bankroll graphic. Click on that. Fill out the entry form for your shot. Also today, there's a Fan Appreciation Day at the Latham branch. If you're a patron out in that direction, swing on by on this Travers Day and take advantage. Food, vouchers, contest, Fan Appreciation Day at the Latham branch down at the Clubhouse Racebook today. King of the Hill contest. So a little extra fun there. And don't forget the Bounty Bet returns today. It'll be the late Pick 5 right here at Saratoga. Play it with your Capital OTB bet account for a shot at the Bounty. And tomorrow, again, Pick 3 Bankroll. You still have time to jump on the team. Go to the website and sign up. And also a knockout challenge down at the Clubhouse Racebook this afternoon.
I'll give you one. I don't know that I've ever mentioned this before, but to show you how different it was, there was a time when at an OTB branch, you would hear the announcement. In those days, the Travers was covered by CBS. CBS took the Belmont and the Travers. ABC had the first 2 legs. And you would hear probably the branch manager say that it is okay to change the channel to the network feed, and you could actually see the race in an OTB parlor. We will now be turning on CBS for the race. And folks, you can't know. That was like giving a starving person a cracker. That was like, you were so grateful.
You couldn't watch the race. It was only a few years ago on the network. We could go live.
Right. We had the last race live for a couple of years, and then.
But for a while, you went to an OTB parlor and you heard the calls.
Delayed call.
And then there was the old phone number where you could hear the calls.
Oh,
that
yes.
was big too.
I know I probably got, I don't know who did, but I had one. It was red, I believe, but an OTB card with my account. It was amazing. These young people, you do not know what we had to go through to be a horse racing fan. And I'm telling you, it was so bad/good. Like now overnight, you good folks are given racing from all around the world. I was given data pages of the entries. It say Saratoga Flats on top. And half of the horses didn't have a jockey named. And then they changed that rule in New York also. So you are living in, it might, the golden age of racing might have been like the 50s, 60s, and 70s. But the golden age of being a horse racing fan is right now. Yeah. It is right now. Between the wagering and the availability to see racing, it is right now. And I tell you, you see it in high def and you're like, I don't think you remember, but when Galileo died, I asked these guys, they ran the King George where he and Fantastic Light went at it. And Brian Nato goes, what is this, 1960s? And I think it was 2001 was the picture. He was like, what is this? I go, it's what we had in 2001 from Europe. So
yeah, you pull up some old replays on YouTube and yikes. Yeah, I mean, and not that old either.
No,
that's I'm not talking point. European. I'm talking American races.
No, it is. It is. You're living in the golden age. Yeah. We got 14 races today. You did the business, so let's go to Kevin Cox and his Travers Day DePaula play of the day.
And they're off. Chevrolet, Mazda, and Ford right now at the DePaula Auto Group. Take off the savings you need on the vehicle that you want. New cars, trucks, SUVs, hybrids, and all electric. Delivered with DePaula savings. And the DePaula Auto Group has hundreds of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Remember, DePaula can service any make and model and has over 100 service bays. So buy DePaula. Think DePaula for all of your automotive needs. DePaula Auto Group. Chevrolet, Mazda, Ford, and pre-owned. DePaula.com.
Hello, everybody. Kevin Cox, the Brooklyn Cowboy here with the DePaula Play of the Day from Saratoga Race Course on Travers Day. And not just Travers Day, but for us, King's Bishop Day, because that's our favorite race of the year. And the photo behind me is when the great Lost in the Fog won 20 years ago. And who finished fourth that day? Well, who else? The Daddy, of course, who won the Bijou race just a couple of weeks prior. We've been giving you our plays of the day on Fridays and Saturdays throughout the meet. And we've been basing our success on a 50 to win, 30 to place, 20 to show wager for the bankroll team. Over the first 3 years, we've shown a flat bet profit in doing this, and we have about 3 selections left to do it once again. So anyway, our play of the day will be in race 4, and we are all over the number 4, Liberty Riser. Fella improved by about 22 points from his first start to the follow-up last fall, and then, as often happens with 2-year-olds, was sent to the sidelines, which one could assume was done to get him some maturity over the winter. He by no means disgraced himself when getting the ball rolling again back in May, as he flashed a decent amount of early hoof in the slop before finishing in the back half of the pack that day. Although he is not well bred for a wet track as a fast one, the figure earned completed the triad of improving dirt buyers since starting things out. So right off the bat, who knows where his ceiling is in that regards? To be honest with you, the adjusted Figaro from the October event was a 73.8, which would lay over most signed on here. Keep in mind that those efforts came without the use of the miracle drug, which is now a part of the makeup. Do yourself a favor and see yourself clear of ignoring the recent 2 turf attempts, as he is terribly bred for the stuff and basically did what he was born to do on it, which was not much. The pilot from the first 2 outings is once again back on, and he's actually doing okay this meet for the type of stock he's been riding. We like that the owner/breeder eschews any frightening drop today, and we have no qualms with digging our toes in with this long shot in a race where the favorite comes in off back-to-back true layoff lines, while the second choice has positively set money ablaze along the way. Oh yeah, dig this. From a DRF formulator point of view, Pat Quick, normally an 11% trainer, is a surreal 8 starts, 6 wins, 1 second and 1 third, with maiden special weight dirt stock off breaks of less than 57 days at 28 to 1 or beneath that are in receipt of Lasix. The payouts for that study were a whopping $33, $28, $19, $14, $11, and $8. And the more we look at this horse, the more we like Liberty Rising. So we're going with a little Liberty Bibbity action in race 4 at Saratoga for our DePaula Play of the Day for Capital OTB. Have a wonderful Travers Day. Do not drive if you're drinking, and we'll see you at the track.
And they're off. Chevrolet, Mazda, and Ford right now at the DePaula Auto Group. Take off the savings you need on the vehicle that you want. New cars, trucks, SUVs, hybrids, and all electric. Delivered with DePaula savings. And the DePaula Auto Group has hundreds of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Remember, DePaula can service any make and model and has over 100 service bays. So buy DePaula. Think DePaula for all of your automotive needs. DePaula Auto Group. Chevrolet, Mazda, Ford, and pre-owned. DePaula.com.
See, my 53-1 shots might run last, but boy, if you could hear the in-betweens or something, it's entertaining. I think it is. It's you've been around the game this long and with this corporation and in this capital district, the evolution is amazing. We have 14 races for you today. 11:10 is the first post. I think 11:10 is the final post. Good luck to you for participating in
Seems
this.
like it.
What?
Seems like
it's going to be, I can't imagine what time Seth got up, etc. So the opener, 2-year-olds, maiden special weights, 8.5 on the inner.
6, 5, 7, and 2 for me. I put Bodis on top by Vacoma. So automatically I'm attracted to this one as a first-time starter. Had a sibling called Parenting. Won the first 3 starts of the career for Bob Baffert. So I thought there was some win early, top and bottom for this one. I'll land there. Farrell. There's a sibling called One Fast Cat that won its career debut. Another one, Will or Won't, won the career debut. So there's win early here. Didn't live up to it in the debut. But with that experience under the belt, I look for the Ken McPeak runner to improve this time. And again, with some win early breeding, that's not going to be a surprise. Amador in the 3rd spot had a little trouble in the debut. The dam was unraced, but the lone racing sibling, was a close second in the only start of the career, albeit on dirt. But I thought there was maybe a little win early there. Constitution on top. It's Todd Pletcher. I think given the debut, again, with trouble, but you look at that line, I think we'll get some value. We're 15-1 on the morning line. I think we'll get value, but I wouldn't be surprised to see improvement there. Ambassador Blue, I think, is an interesting player as well that might offer a little value for Danny Gargan. 6'5", 7-2. Oh, speaking of Danny Gargan, we didn't mention Iron Orchard yesterday. Woo. Looked really good in the stepping into Stakes Company in the second career start.
I think we'll be stepping into Open Stakes
Yes,
Company next.
Yeah.
I know it's Travers Day and it's a great card and we're going to get to all of it. Did anything stick out to you that would fall under the radar, I think, for all newbies and many people? How many black cherry caps are running today?
Oh.
I think as many. They have that one runner, right? Peak before it, but I think they have 3 today. I think it's sensational. And speaking of which, 418, Quiet Power, Phipps Stable, and St. Elias, Black Cherry Cap, offspring of Tappet on the turf. 2 turns debut for Mr. McGahee. I'm in. Remember Mamba? I guess that's a basketball fan. For a second, another firster, a Kitten's Joy going out for Cherie DeVoe, and then Conquering Force for Ken McPeak, the firster, who's on the outside of the main body, 418.
Race number 2 this afternoon. We're looking at optional claimers, non-winners of 2 other than a mile and 3/16 on the grass.
Love it. Started at the top of the stretch. 487 for me, and Kerry Bryan sends out the 4 for not the seasonal debut, because we did run in January, but off of the nearly 7-month layoff. But before that, wrapping up last year, won a 2X at Churchill Downs, draws inside, should be able to leisurely get good position with Paco Lopez. Vesting for second, comes off of a big 11 furlong effort. Before that, 1 down at Belmont. And then Crystal Quest for Michael Trambetta, runner-up to my second to Freedom's Way in the last race that Vesting comes out of. So 487.
I have it 7, 8, the 1 entry, and 4. I'm going to put Crystal Quest on top. Mike Trombetta, runner that ran well last time in a very similar event, so I would see this one as being live again today. Vesting in the 2nd spot. Nice win, 2 back, 3rd last time, again, in a similar event, but comes in good form. And from 2 back to last time, the buyer number made a little move forward. Again, finishing position wasn't as good, but the buyer number went forward. So I think this one is primed for a good effort. I'm stuck on the outside, and I will admit that concerns me a little bit, but I don't think we're far enough out to be super concerned. The 1A in the mix for me, as well as the plain one, Early Adopter and Activist Investing. Activist Investing is on the outside, as stated, but Early Adopter is in a good position. There are a couple of Chad Brown runners for Klarovich, and I think both of them look very good, but I probably prefer the one on the outside, Activist Investing, off the recent numbers. So 7, 8, the one entry, and 4.
And that's one of the things I love about these mile and 3/16 races, is that
time to
you really are given enough time that if you get a bad run into the first turn, there might be a lot of onus on yourself for not getting any better position. And that's one of the reasons. And it's the same thing why I like the infrequently run mile and an eighth inner. You have that hole to get some position. On to the third race, all firsters, 2-year-old fillies, maiden special weights going 6.5.
3, 2, 7, and 8. I'm going to put Touch of Magic on top for Steve Asmussen. Comes in with a bullet workout, and you have a number of win early siblings. One called Guarana, won the first 3 starts, won 5 of the first 6. Magic Dance won the first 2 starts, and Cornucopian won the career debut. That name rings a bell, obviously, for some talent recently, but Touch of Magic, I think, has some win early to in the breeding to live up to, and I think that is likely to happen today, again, with that bullet workout in tow. Glamorize comes in for Chad Brown. John Stewart's Resolute Racing. There was a sibling called Randomized, who you may remember, comes up a little bit later on the card, but started that career third, won the second start, and then 1 starts 4, 5, and 6 as well. So in the first 6 starts of the career, 4 wins. Maxfield is doing okay as a win early sire. So Glamorize is going to be very, very interesting as well. Zen Yoga has some win early siblings. Mahamel won the second start. Clock Tower won the third. Hot Mist won the debut. Dale Romans Trainee again with some win early breeding. Interesting. Tam Tam, a win early sibling for Phil Bauer. But I have it 3, 2, 7, and 8.
What I think is interesting is that they've gone to this 6.5. This is a day that's well known for. Now, these are the fillies, which is, a little bit lesser at this point, but at 6.5, and it's our time, the 6.5. But it's usually the 6. I'm 3, 8, 4. Also, Touch of Magic, the firster. It's hard to imagine that a Hall of Famer such as Steve Asmussen has had a quietly very good meet. I think he unveils one today that has some giddy up, and I'm with you. On the outside, Tam Tam, Phil Bowers, Offspring, and Medallia Dioro, solid types of works that I nowadays like to see coming in. And then for third, I have 5 bars. The other Maxfield, the Maxfield is the 2 and the 4. So 3, 8, 4.
Neither of us mentioned number 5, Ice Cream for Everyone, who may be live for Todd Pletcher.
Oh,
win early there. Pletcher and
sure.
Rapoli, and Rapoli wants to get a win on a big day like
Absolutely.
This.
I mean, this is, it's the Phillies, but this is, the day of marketing and salesmanship. And, not that Todd Pletcher has to do with Mike Rapoli, but all the eyes are watching. Andy Byer told me once, he goes, be good when everybody's watching.
Speaking of Andy Byer, Andy Serling, I think he usually sits in with Andy on Travers Day, but he's recovering.
No.
He had some kind of knee surgery.
No. He usually sits in on the old Woodward Day / Jockey Club Gold Cup Day, the last Saturday.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah. He's on the sideline.
Steve Christ is going to be in with him today, so that should be fun to watch. The NYRA pregame show, and that will start at 9:30. So we're winding up. We have an abbreviated Racing Across America, which I didn't mention. Callie Francois will join us for a few minutes, and then Pete Fornatal will come in and take a look at the card.
Do you remember when Steve Christ used to do the paddock show on Saturdays? Yeah, with Harvey. They closed up that area.
Really?
That area is enclosed now. It's not an open walkway. I went back and looked a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Fourth at Saratoga today. State bred maiden specials, 3/4 of a mile.
I think one year Andy went like 8 for 11.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. 8, 10, 7 for me, and Cole Bob gets my top pick. The veteran in the group here, making the 9th career start, has solid speed. You know, in this condition, you could certainly make the supposition that has never gotten to the end with that early speed as a maiden, but Frankie Dettori gets the mount, and I am not going to go back, Seth, and add it up, but making the seasonal debut, it's amazing to me. Number 10, Mike Maker's America's Back. I'm sure it's a pun on a tease on enunciation, but Mike Maker's runner ran on June 27th. It's listed as first time gelding. I'm a believer, has 3 runner-up positions already. Then keeping it real. They add blinkers, 3rd start of the year, 8-10-7.
10-7, the 1 entry, and 8 for me. America's Back on top off the couple second place finishes, first time gelding symbol. I think we'll be live this afternoon, keeping it real. 3rd start back this season for the Chad Brown runner off a couple of good tries so far, particularly the seasonal debut. Then went backwards a little bit in the 2nd start of the season, both as a short priced favorite, first time as part of an entry. But I think 3rd start back, maybe we get closer to what we saw in that seasonal debut. Blinkers on today. Interesting runner again with the scenario of the 3rd start back off the first 2 that were okay. 1 entry goes out for Jim Bond, Spiteful Storm off a debut effort. Those are the kind that I look at as a foundation to move forward from. And Alzero in the 2nd spot. 3rd start back off a little bit of an early season layup. Numbers are okay relative to this bunch. Call Bob, maybe a little bit interesting. I will say Roddy Valente has Coach Patino in here. I saw Rick Patino heading out to his car after the races yesterday. So I'm assuming back today to sit back and maybe root for Roddy and Coach Patino. And I think that one could be interesting as well. But I went 10-7, the 1 entry, and 8.
Take a quick break. We'll be right back.
For more than 4 generations, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued the 103-year tradition of delighting their local following and faithful summer crowd with the finest authentic Italian recipes. Classic Italian dishes made with the freshest ingredients, served in a home-like setting. Some things have changed in the last 103 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
The only thing better than watching the races is watching your own racehorse. With nearly 20 years experience in the racing industry, Bonaventure Stables' share-based ownership program enables everyday fans to become part owner of a thoroughbred for far less than you might think, with all the ownership perks at Saratoga, Belmont, Aqueduct, and other great tracks. Experience the thrill and lifestyle of owning your own thoroughbred racehorse. Learn more at bonaventurestables.com.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. On Travers Day, we're up to race number 5, state bred entry-level allowance.
10, 6, 8, and 4 for me. I'll go to Silsby. I went back and forth in this race. I had Anascal on top originally. I had Phoebe and Wonderland in the 2nd spot. Then I went out to 7, so I wound up 10, 6, 8, and 4. But again, I could have juggled these up in different order. But Silsby for George Weaver again. What a good meet he's having, and nice win, 2 back to break the maiden. And you like that they have the confidence to say, let's jump right into a stakes race off the maiden breaker.
Absolutely.
Ran okay. Ran 4th, but less than a couple lengths back. And again, 3rd start of the career off the maiden breaker. That was a pretty good effort. So I now getting back to the more proper condition, we'll put Silsby on top. 2nd spot, Anascal going out for Miguel Clement off a 2nd place finish in a stakes race last time down at Monmouth. Most of the career, they've been ambitious with this horse as well. Broke the maiden in the debut and then 4 stakes races since. So they also get back to the more proper non-winners of 1 condition, and Phoebe and Wonderland in the 3rd spot. This is a turf sprint, and this is a Wesley Ward trainee. He's always very good with the turf sprinters. And this one started the career on the dirt, broke the maiden in the career debut, and then they got ambitious with this one, went to a dirt stake, didn't do as well, tried the turf last time, and ran okay. So now with that experience under the belt, again, I'm being a Wesley Ward trainee, I'll put that one in the mix. I will say my old friend Jim Doyle trains and owns Long-Legged Queen, who I thought was interesting in here. Didn't use it in the mix, but rooting for Jim. Jim and I, years and years ago, I was bouncing around when I had my television production company, and we used to do some things, backstretch Saratoga season, and Jim used to be popping around as well with me doing some of that work. So rooting for number 5 in there, but I have a 10, 6, 8, and 4.
And he trains his own horse type of thing, etc.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking for chaos.
I mean, he bred it too. It's own.
Yeah. The race, I don't even have Silsby on my trifecta, so it's hard for me to say it goes through. But on Buyer's speed figures, it kind of does go through. Turf sprinting and Buyer's speed figures, I first time versus winners is my topic. Olivia's Grace broke the maiden in the third start, but has never run a poor race. Now has to step it up if Silsby comes with her biggest game. But I'm 6-1 on the morning line. It's a very even. I expect to be spread out after Silsby, so maybe we'll get 8-1 on this. But I like the maiden breaker in the third career start. For a second, running Rio, going out for Safi Josephs. Good early speed, can attack on the outside. And then for third, Phoebe in Wonderland, Wesley Ward's runner. Better than maybe looks on paper, debut on the turf, 7-12-8.
6th race this afternoon. We're looking at 2-year-old maiden specials. They will go 3/4 of a mile.
And you would probably think that this was the one. I mean, it's the boys, and it's 6 furlongs, and it's et cetera. But we have 6 firsters, 7, 8 firsters, right? The only horse with a race is the 6, right? So
Vino Vici.
Yeah, who's in my mix? But I just took a shot here, 9, 8, and 6. Old time rock and roll for Chad Brown. A runner by McLean's Music, who you might think early and precocious would be the high watermark. So let's see if they're cranked up and ready to go from the outside. The type of works that I've come to very much like, and that is, like Seth, you see the most recent one is 50-1 breezing, 106 out of 135. But I've come to almost dismiss the last work but it's the 1-3 back, August 2nd. Hey, I got this figured out. Well, they got that baby race on Travers Day. We'll go there for second. Stimulate going out for Bill Mott, an offspring of Tappet. Claiborne part owner, but they're going to run in Adele Dillshire's Silks, the Blame Silks. And then Vino Vici for third, 9, 8, 6.
5, 3, 6, and 9 for me. I'll put Big Dom on top. Sibling called Talon, second and first in the first two. Ditka, 9th in debut, won the second start. Fully Living won the career debut. Empress Eleanor, 4th and 3rd, then won a couple of starts, third and fourth. So there's plenty of win early underneath. So Tommy Amos obviously going well at the meet, and McKinsey on top. Bullet Workout 2 back on August 9th. Big Dom looks legit. Dr. Kapoor in the second spot. Sibling called Parents' Pride in the first 5 starts of the career, 2 wins and 2 seconds. So I thought there was some win early for the Safi Joseph runner, also by McKinsey. And then Vino Vici in the third spot. Todd Pletcher trainee might wind up being the one to beat, because debut I thought was okay.
Yeah.
One to build on. Midnight Lady, a sibling, won the second start, so maybe we live up to that. Vino Vici, interesting. I'll put Old Time Rock and Roll in the bottom slot. I agree. That one's intriguing. The Brad Cox runner on the rail. Fun race, but I have it 4, 3, 6, and 9.
And that's the type of debut for Vino Vici that I like. That's the one that I like. And you said it's something to build on. Now, you know who Big Dom is, right?
No.
Oh, you mentioned the sibling, right? Ditka, right?
Correct.
Big Dom.
Oh, the security guy?
For the Philadelphia.
Yeah.
So that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
7th race. I think this is accurate. The Lake Placid for the first time being run at a mile.
Oh, I wouldn't know.
This used to be the longer one. This was kind of like, well, it used to be 9 furlongs, and then used to be a mile and 16th, but this was like after the Lake George or Lake Placid, it's at a mile.
1, 5, 6, and 2. Play with Fire on top. Chad Brown trainee comes in off a near miss back on July 3rd, right up here at a mile on the turf, and so comes in good form and just good form overall. 6 starts, couple of wins, the second and third. But a nice win at Pimlico on Preakness weekend. 2 starts back, and then, as I say, just missed up here. Looks logical in the current 2025 form. Scarlet Sands in the second spot. The Carlos David runner comes in also in good form, bringing in a 3-race win streak, which included a stake last time down at Gulfstream. And I think in the current form, they make a logical move to come on up and give this a shot. And then Raining Flowers in the third position in the Lake George was a near miss second, so seemed to appreciate the move back up to Saratoga. And I think this one will be live again today. The European runner, I think, could be intriguing as well. I didn't pull the trigger there, but I'm going to be interested to see what the odds are on that one, given the last start. I rode Ortiz on board 7-2 on the morning line. Again, could be a player, but I went 1, 5, 6, and 2.
The problem I had with this race, Seth, is that, and I like it. It's a good problem the way I like horse races. I have everybody in it to win it. I love that. It might only be 6 horses, but as a betting race, I'm 4-1-3, and because of how I feel about the race, I took the 6-1 shot, who I think with Graham Motion scored an allowance race at Delaware Park, and then came back in the Belmont Oaks, and at 21-1 ran like it. But heck, Nitrogen got beat in that race, so there you have it. So I'm just taking in what I think is everybody's in it to win it pool. I'm taking Warming, who fits in the mix and is going to be probably the second longest shot on the board. Play with Fire, I agree with Seth. I think is a major player in here. Draws the inside. I don't think has to concern herself with the trip as much because she's not going to be forward. She really has no pressure on her to be up front and break well. Mayday ready. 4-1-3 in the 1 mile, I believe for the first time, Lake Placid.
Race number 8. We're looking at state bred allowance runners. They will go 8.5 on the grass.
2, 10, and 12 for me. Gallant Greta gets my top pick for Mike Maker. Broke the maiden 2 races back and then raced well against winners first time. Has had a light freshening, coming back 2 months and 1 day later. We draw inside, which I think is very beneficial. If we break smartly with good early lick, we can get to that first turn quickly and out of trouble. Summer Whirl is my second pick, making the third start at Saratoga. The one on the Independence Day Festival puts her right in the mix here. And then Tongue Twister on the outside draws the tough post position, 2, 10, 12.
6, 2, 8, and 5. The 3 also a little bit interesting to me from Dave Donk, but I put Dividend Recap on top as my Dark Horse Play today, brought to you by the Dark Horse Mercantile and Impressions of Saratoga, both right on Broadway in downtown Saratoga. If you're coming up to the races today, you go out to dinner. They're typically open a little bit later. You can swing on by and say hello. Impressions and Dark Horse in downtown. But Dividend Recap, to me, the number 6, I thought the number thrown and the performance in the seasonal debut off a long layoff, I thought fit well with this bunch. We're getting 8-1 on the morning line. So it was I talk about it every once in a while. If you have a horse, a 2-year-old or a lightly raced 3-year-old, and they get a break, they can often come back and prove. That was clearly the case with Dividend Recap. And if this horse steps forward even a little bit, I think is a solid, doesn't have to step forward. I think can get to that last number and be a solid mix with this bunch. But a little bit of improvement, and this horse is, I think, right in the thick of things. So again, Dividend Recap, very interesting to me at a morning line that's a nice price. That'll be our Dark Horse Play of the day. Race 8, Horse number 6, Dividend Recap. Gallant Greta in the second spot. The Mike Maker trainee, again, comes in good form. When last seen, that was April and June, so there's been a layoff for much of the early portion of the summer. But when last seen was running well, and I would think, this isn't a huge layoff. I would think this horse would be a player. Love You, Miss You, Mean It in the third spot of a nice win last time right here at Saratoga on a series of improving numbers. So, again, this horse could be primed for a nice effort as well. Back Check at 15-1. My top pick is a Miguel Clement runner. And this one also. And I think this one, numbers in the last couple are maybe a little light, but I could see a move forward for this one in the second start against, limited winners. Interesting race, but again, with the dark horse, 6, 2, 8, and 5. And our dark horse won yesterday, but it was it was another one.
There was a lot of light shining on him.
Where, yikes, we were 7-2 on the morning line. I legitimately thought he could go either way. And I was on the radio with Steve Bick, and he was like, yeah, it's not going. Alexis Zorba. And he's like, no, he's got, and went off it. And I'll tell the story briefly. I was in the feeder contest yesterday. Every Friday there's a feeder for $40 to get into the $300 live money contest. Today, I came to that final race. And I had pre-bet Alexis Zorba, and it sat at 2-1 for a long time. And I was $9 out of getting to the contest. And the 2-1 was enough for me to say, I'm going to stick. I make it the $9. And also the people above you, you're not sure if they have bullets left. They might come down. But there was enough. I really debated, and then I clicked down to 7-5. I was like, that's not going to get it done for me. You can see where this story is going. I shift off Alexis Zorba. Sure enough, it's a win place. So it's $7 and change, and it would have gotten me to the contest today. But I thought, I'm not going to make it with this. But
the SAT exams, go with your first thought. We'll be back with the procession of grade ones.
It only takes one upset to make history, and now you can be part of Saratoga's long tradition at the Dark Horse Mercantile. The Dark Horse Mercantile offers a carefully curated selection of clothing, gifts, and home decor, from one-of-a-kind vintage racing memorabilia to select brands like Barber and Under Armour, as well as exclusive Dark Horse branded merchandise. So celebrate the Dark Horse in all of us at the Dark Horse Mercantile, downtown Saratoga, where the smart bet is always the Dark Horse.
A day at the track isn't complete without a night at the Horseshoe. Great food, hot music, and cold drinks. So why go downtown when all the action's just across from the track? The Horseshoe Inn at the corner of Nelson and Gridley.
You like free money? Well, Capital OTB gives its players plenty of opportunities to cash in. At Capital OTB, there are so many ways for horse players to receive bonus dollars by simply participating in promotions such as our bankrolls, bounty bets, online handicapping contests, and much, much more. Plus, with Capital OTB's Player Rewards program, you get actual cash back. So what are you waiting for? Log on today at CapitalOTB.com or CapitalOTBBet.com and claim your free money.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Whoops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, up to race number 9. I'm surprised the pick 6 doesn't start here, but the pick 5 does. The personal ensign.
6, 7, 1, and 4 for me. I'm going to take a little pop against Torpedo Ann. I had Kenny McPeak in a couple of days ago, and he had this horse schooling in the paddock, and she was a little bit on her toes. But Kenny said, it's game day's coming up, so he wasn't concerned, and I'm not concerned either. I mean, I think she's going to come in. I think she's going to run well, and likely the one to beat. She rebounded very nicely in the Fleur-de-Lis. And he said, and it was true, if you go back, you watch the La Troyenne, that was a trip that it wasn't going to work out for her. It didn't. But again, rebounded nicely last time. She's run well on this track, a couple of wins in a second. And I showed the Travers again to Ken the other day, and with mixed thoughts, because to me it was one of the better races last year. She ran second, but she ran great in that Travers with a triple-digit buyer. But again, she comes in very good form, obviously off the Fleur de Lis. But so does Leslie's Rose off the win in the Shoe V. And I think if she runs her race and Anna runs her race, I think they're both right there. So I tilted slightly towards Leslie's Rose with Irad on board, Torpedo in the second spot, and the aforementioned Randomized, who has run well up here in the past and comes in off a win in the Molly Pitcher, should be showing some speed from the rail, and also an interesting player, Darth Vader. I think possible if you wind up with an upset here, that's one maybe you look at. But 6, 7, 1, and 4.
I was just thinking as I saw Torpedo Anna, who beat the Breeders' Cup Classic winner in that. Did Rachel ever get a 111 in her 3-year-old
that's
campaign?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Okay. If a 90,
she raised the roof over here, I know that.
Yes, she did. Yeah, and this is the race she lost. They never ran again. They don't talk about that one too much when they ran like 27 seconds for the final quarter mile. If 97 wins this on the buyer, it's going to be a very intriguing race. If 103 wins it, it's not going to be intriguing. I see it the same way. I think Leslie's Rose is in career best form, and Todd Pletcher's got her in a good spot and taking on the champ. 6, 7, 1.
Race number 10. We're looking at the Alan Jerkins Grade 1 event. $500,000 up for grabs as these 3-year-olds will travel 7 furlongs.
Always like this part. 3 consecutive Grade 1s at 7/8. 8, 1, 3. These 3 races I love coming up before we get to the Travers. I think, Bob Baffert has Midland money in here. Second off the layoff is kind of an X factor. Captain Cook is not an X factor. This is a Grade 1, one of the finest races annually, and I think everybody's live here. I mean, I just think that, Patch Adams, here's another example. If 99 wins this, we're all in. So it's going to be about the trip and everything, and I'm on the outside. Madacat Road for Bob Baffert coming out of the Woody Stevens runner-up. I'm on the outside. I think that's the edge. Patch Adams draws the rail. I think that's the disadvantage coming out of the victory up here in the Woody Stevens. Has thrown 2 consecutive good efforts, but both of those had moisture in the racetrack. I call that the what was the horse's name? I got to think of it in a second. But and then Barnes, who obviously they paid $3.2 million, named him after the assistant. So you just had to think. I think he's going to run great today, shortening up. Somebody could put in an explosive performance and you'd just be like, wow. But 8, 1, 3 for me.
5, 2, 1, and 4. I used Verifier, and I will admit I get sucked in by these horses that show a lot of talent and then kind of step into saltier company, and oftentimes it's a lost cause. But this Verifier comes in just in good and improving form throughout the first 3 starts. Tried Stakes Company last time and ran very, very well against a couple of runners who are back in here today. So I'm going to look for Verifier to be legit in here, stepping into Grade 1 company in the 4th career start off the 3-for-3 record so far. But as I say, I tend to get sucked into these a little bit. And I'm in the same position with Midland Money. 2 for 2 for Bob Baffert. Came up to Saratoga in the seasonal debut and won very nicely with the triple-digit buyer. But again, this is salty company, and sometimes, what we've seen already doesn't quite translate. They may run well, but getting a win or a second may be asking a lot. But this one comes in with a couple of nice workouts, and that last one in particular, I'll put that one in. I will say, you like Madacat Road.
Yeah.
I've talked to a lot of people over the past couple of days who are Madacat Road or Barnes, the other 2.
Yes.
And they come in with more experience, obviously, than Midland Money. So I don't have any argument there. Patch Adams off the win in the Woody Stevens. And the last couple of, I handicapped this race a couple of days ago. And the last couple of days, the more I've thought about it, the more I've looked at it, I may regret putting Chancellor McPatrick down the 4th spot. That last one might have been a good rebound race and have him now going in the right direction. I think the cutback is interesting for him as well. He's obviously shown an affinity for the track. So I may have missed the boat and not have Chancellor McPatrick
Can't
up
like
a
them
little
all.
further. But yeah, 5-2, 1-4.
Yeah, this type of race where you might be looking in the autumn or years down the road. Barnes paid $11, etc. Sea Heroes, who I was thinking about. He won the Champagne, the Derby, and the Travers. And on first glance, that might be, wow, he was a terrible horse.
Got a statue.
Yeah, but I could never figure out why. Always moisture in the racetrack for him to perform. On to the 11th, the Ballerina. No ways and means, unfortunately.
6, 7, 9, and 5. 8's also interesting. My Main Squeeze, the nice New York bred. Wouldn't argue against that one. But Zeitlos. I liked Zeitlos last time in the turf race, and I thought ran very, very well to run a close-up second behind Future Is Now, who came back and proved to be a monster in that follow-up to the Caress just the other day, relatively the other day, within the last week and a half or so. So again, I like that performance. I like the horse that day, moving to the turf. Now does a turf to dirt move that I think could be very, very intriguing. Ran in the Caress last year and ran 5th and came back and won a stake down at Churchill. So again, they're following a similar pattern here coming out of the Caress. I think Zeitlos is very interesting in here. Scylla in the second slot. A couple of nice finishes most recently in stakes action up here at Saratoga for Belmont, and I think is a player in with this group this afternoon as well. And in the third position, we'll go out to Hope Road. Bob Baffert brings this one in. Last couple of races were at Churchill, but brings this one in from Del Mar, where the horse has just been working really, really well. A couple of 6 furlong works most recently, so that's notable to me. Hope Road is going to be, I think, very tough in here. I have it 6, 7, 9, and 5.
Boy, when Hope Road has lost to some really good horses at that point in their career, I have her for a second. Claret Barea, I alluded to this yesterday, the Chicago stakes race, which used to be a big Arlington race, now down at Churchill Downs. I thought that was a nighttime big performance at 10-1. Irad sits on. Claret Beret, my top pick, the offspring of, not this time. Hope Road, has huge figures here. The one at Santa Anita and the Santa Monica sticks out for me, has freshened up. I think she's going to be heck to pay on the outside. And then Bright Work, who is great here. Numbers don't indicate that in the exacta for me, but for third, 5-9-2.
Race number 12, the Ford.
We're not done yet,
Race number 12, $500,000 up for grabs for the 4-year-olds and up, traveling 7 furlongs.
This was the 7 furlong grade one I had the least feel for. 1-4-5, most wanted from down inside. Shortening up was simply the way I went. That the last eighth of a mile that the offspring of Candy Ride is going to have the get up and go to run them down and win. Bookham Dano, no knocks here. The entire career has been outstanding. And the type of horse that got an 86, in the Nashua as a 2-year-old, has built on it, and then extra anejo for Steve Asmussen, shortening up out of a mile race. 7/8, won the Commonwealth at Keeneland. Terrific race, 1-4-7.
Yeah, I put Bookham Dano on top. 9 wins and 15 starts, but 4-7-2-1. Ran third in this race last year, but comes out of the win in the Vanderbilt and the win prior to that in the True North, going back to Belmont Stakes weekend here, and then back on July 19th in the Vanderbilt. I think is set up to run very well this afternoon. Again, obviously having shown very much an affinity for the track, and comes in good form and just has been fun to root for as a nice little New Jersey bred. Mulligan has run second to Bookham Dano in the past couple. I'll put that run right in the same spot. Had Michael Dubb in a couple of days ago. I had him in on Wednesday, and he promoted the Thursday event for Belmont Child Care Association. And I saw him yesterday. He said the event turned out very well. So congratulations to them, and thanks to everybody who showed up to support really one of the nice organizations that watch out for the backstretch workers up here. But Michael, we talked a little bit about Bishop's Bay, and he said the group, and if you look at the ownership group, it is a big group. You can see Spendthrift on there, also Marshall Graham, 10 Strike Racing, Michael Dubb, Windstar's involved. There's a whole slew of partners. And he said, they thought it was time to take a shot. This is a horse, 7 wins in 3 seconds and 10 starts. The last couple were grade 3 wins, including the Salvatore Mile, and they said it's time to take a shot. You know, at a grade 1, I think this horse is deservedly taking a shot. So 4-7, 2-1.
Take our final break. When we come back, the Travers Stakes.
Want to get your career in horse racing off to a fast start? Well, the University of Arizona's Racetrack Industry Program is your winning ticket. The Racetrack Industry Program has served as a springboard to some of the industry's most successful individuals, with a proven track record of job placement right out of college. If you want to earn a degree in the exciting horse racing industry, the Racetrack Industry Program can put you in the winner's circle.
For more than 4 generations, Bruce Cerrone and his family have continued the 103-year tradition of delighting their local following and faithful summer crowd with the finest authentic Italian recipes. Classic Italian dishes made with the freshest ingredients, served in a home-like setting. Some things have changed in the last 103 years, but not Pinnell's commitment to the finest in Italian cuisine. Pinnell's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, just minutes from the track.
Sometimes it pays to go with the flow, to check your worries at the door, to reconnect with your crew, to follow the thrills and the flavor, to roll with it and see where it takes you, to enjoy every minute to its fullest, and to dance like there's no tomorrow. You can do that here at Rivers Casino and Resort Schenectady, where the good times flow.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Time for the cherry on top, the Travers Stakes.
It's a fun undercard, and the 5 horses here, you know, take a little of the wind out. People have commented the last couple of days, and I agree. But I think we have 5 because I think you have the monster in here. You have the monster in here that is clearly at the top of the 3-year-old class. I have a 4, 1, and 3. I couldn't get past Sovereignty. A lot of people all week long have been talking about Magnitude, and funny things can happen in the short field, and Magnitude has speed from the rail. Who knows, might float along and maybe steals it. But I just think Sovereignty has proven to be so good. The style has changed over the last few, or has shown the ability to change and be versatile. But clearly, at this point in the year, to me, he is clearly at the top of the class. And so I have him on top. Magnitude, yes, won the Risen Star with the triple-digit buyer, went on to have a layoff and come back in the Iowa Derby, kind of a confidence builder, and mission accomplished. Nice triple-digit buyer win there. Steve Asmussen, runner, I think, is a legit player. But, again, we're going against the top of the class in here. We'll see. Magnitude with that early speed when they hit the backstretch coming out of the turn the first time, or the first turn. If he's floating away, who knows? But Strategic Focus, lightly raced for Chad Brown, I think is also maybe a little bit intriguing and perhaps dangerous. You know, none of them are invincible, but I think Sovereignty has the edge in here. 4, 1, and 3.
My focus as a public handicapper for you folks is you are not going to get the right price on Magnitude. I talked about this the other day. You're taking on Sovereignty. That's a Herculean task.
I had Bobby Hulton yesterday, and I don't think he had seen you talking about it, but he said exactly the same thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not the right price. He's a major player in here, but you're supposed to get 6-1 taking on the pro tem leader, Sovereignty. I just split the difference with Strategic Focus. No show wagering. Can't imagine what the minus pool would have been.
Remember years ago, Niatros ran across the street, and
literally into the lake.
They wouldn't let you bet at all on Niatros. He was out of the betting. You bet everybody else, and then he jumped the rail. 14th and final today. We'll go off at about 6:50 this evening. Maiden Claimer, State-bred Maiden Claimers going a mile on the grass.
I like this race. We got a time issue today. 7-1-6 for me. My point is, I like the 7. One of my favorite horses of the day today.
Okay. I have a 9-10, 7-1 Catholic edition on top. I thought could be a little bit interesting for Linda Rice. I think the 7 is a player as well. 9-10, 7-1.
It's Travers Day. It's beautiful weather. Have a wonderful time.
This has been the Handicappers Report, brought to you by CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier online wagering site in New York State. CapitalOTBBet.com. Sign up today. And the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Make it to the Clubhouse Racebook.